Approaching the garden, Cyrddin unsheathed her axe and sword, setting them carefully aside. The central garden was a place of contemplation, one of the few places even a way steward entered without her weapons. As always, she was struck by its simple beauty. Her people, the Luti, could be hard when necessary. The fields of light were harsh compared to much of the Four Kingdoms, but they also held oases such as this garden, rarely seen by outsiders. Today, however, she didn't come to enjoy the greenery or even to meditate. She sought advice and knew she would find Teika, her former mentor, here, practicing her forms on the shale surrounding the small pool at the center of the garden. Cyrddin waited at a polite distance while the older woman finished and took a seat on the nearby bench before approaching. "You've had the dream again," Teika began. No preamble. While few of the Luti could be considered loquacious, the old teacher had a little use for wasted words, as she did for superfluous actions. Every movement, every interaction was reduced to the necessary, the vital. Cyrddin sat down next to her and said, more vivid this time, more urgent. For the past week, she had had the same dream. A woman, young in appearance, but with old eyes, travels the way with her. Although they walk side by side, the woman's feet are on another road. Not the path of Luti stewardship, but their destination is nevertheless the same. Though she knew her mentor wouldn't give her a direct answer, Cyrddin asked the question anyway. What should I do? You have not been a student for many years. This is your decision. I have duties here. Teika waved away her concern as the excuse it was. You're not the only way steward. For generations the Luti have guarded the ways, protecting this world from anything that might be traveling. The woman, do you trust her? Cyrddin thought before answering. She serves the light, but there's something else there as well. She hesitated a moment to choose her words. Not darkness, exactly, but something. As she said it, she realized the feeling that had been nagging at her. Familiarity. She feels like the ways themselves. Neither light nor darkness, but something in between. Teika nodded once. Like the ways, there are individuals who walk outside the binary of light and dark, liminal by nature. Yes, that is what I feel from this woman, although I am certain she serves the light in this. As is your duty as well, her teacher shrugged. A simple gesture for a simple answer. With gratitude and respect, the way steward left Teika to her meditation. Cyrddin had always envisioned her charge as lying solely in the bright lands, but she served the light wherever she was needed. She would lend her arms to this cause without hesitation. She retrieved her weapons and set home to pack. She had quite the journey ahead of her. Cyrddin, all cleaned up, isn't such a savage after all. By her garb, you would guess she is from the Fields of Light. You may have guessed, I am from Ark. I am a way steward of the Ludi. I do not know why I was imprisoned, but I will discover these truths and win back my honor. If you would help me escape, my honor is yours. So the heroes now took a liking, and more importantly, Cyrddin took a liking to the valiant heroes, and now here she is more to the side of Arthur, who she took a liking to his ferocity in battle. More importantly, they and their friends now, they were right before in prison together, unknowingly so, unknowing to each other, have now valiantly come together as allies and tried to push through, and more importantly, to keep Cyrddin's honor as they try to escape together, and more important, to aid in her escape this dungeon or labyrinth or prison, as they still cannot figure out how they came about to be here, and so have they seen the death and ferocity of their captors. Now grubbers are on their way, and pretty much more importantly, there's some even blocking them. Now, tile like this would usually have a trap and not necessarily any hunting packs and 4 treasures. But in this case, thematically, it will make more sense to have a hunting pack instead of a trap, and the 4 treasures remain. Don't forget, treasures are only capable of obtaining via the fact if you slay 3 enemies in 1 strike, and in this case there's nothing else that would allow them to get a treasure. So in this case, hopefully they manage to do it. Let's not forget, now the heroes don't find themselves as weakened as before, so now that they have all their equipment, they seem more powerful, more strong, and the fact that they're more in numbers, they kind of outnumber and strengthen the grubbers in this case. So let's see how the heroes progress, with the darkness being at 0, and right now slowly it will smother them. So the heroes will see who goes of them first, but more importantly, always Arthur in the leadership. So before anyone can go, Lily will take action first, and she will try to move in, and she will try to play in doubt. This will allow her to influence the enemies around her at a range of 2. Each enemy within range must pass a courage test in order to activate. Alright, so the grubbers here, if she's within range, and she will move into range by moving pretty much from here 1 and 2, she will move right at the edge right here, and that will put this 3 grubbers in the influence of pretty much of what she's able to do, and put doubt into her enemies. And the reason she's going to do that, for the courage test. And now the courage test for the grubber, or this minion grubber, is okay, so they have to do courage test 7. So here, sorry, if you see this symbol right here, the grubbers have to roll 7 or greater to pass, or to activate, I should say, at this case, because for this current cycle round, if within the hero cycle only, if the enemies happen to activate, then they will need to pass a courage test, and if not, they fail, they cannot activate. She's going to do this as a reaction, and it does not cause the AP, so in this case the darkness does not smother the heroes. Well, at this point, Arthur, impatiently not waiting for anything to take action, moves quickly here and turns to this grubber, and he will take with his weapon an action, and this is an action, as you could see, based on this, and it will cost 1. It will cause the darkness to rise by 1. More importantly, he could do this at any time, and it's for 1 damage. So the AP is at 1, and he will attack this grubber fiercely with his mighty 2-handed sword, and sort of carrying the shield at the same time, as attack 1 target within range, and this attack gains +1 fade die for each rage card played. There's 0 card rage cards played, so in this case he will not get any extra fade die, but instead he will be able to attack 1 foe, and that's what he will do, and he gets already, by the way, 3 dices to roll with 1 fate die. Now, the reason why he gets 3 is because his Haldarian blade gives him 2 dices, and his skillful soldier, veterancy, gives him 1. So in that sense, that's 3, and more important, you got the 1 fate die, right? So let's see what will the roll be. So in this case, he does more than he needs, and he did roll this rage, but it doesn't do anything good for him in this case. So he slays this grubber. Well done. He's threat goes up to 1 because he did do 1 damage, and this did rise the AP, in which we did already take care of. So he did do 1 action only, and that threat is no big threat because it will lower itself once we go into the dex cycle. So let's see what are the other heroes are going to do at this case, because right now pretty much Arthur moved quickly in to take out the enemy. So Trish, seeing Arthur run in, she feels to give him the hero's edge. Okay, it's a reaction, it's ongoing, and what it will do, it will enable Arthur with a special ability, which is choose 1 hero within range to gain the hero's edge token. You may choose another hero next cycle if you want, which I won't. A hero with this token gains +1 die and +1 fate die to attack actions. Just makes him much stronger, and in this case there is no reason why not to give it to him, and that's what she's going to do, and Arthur will have the hero's edge from here on. So after that, she will also do, using her weapon, she will do an attack, an arcane attack with her weapon. She'll attack 1 target within range and the range of her weapon, and the range of her weapon is 4, and she will do 1 damage with that enchanted twig. So this is the second action she does. This is the first action she does, and she will raise the AP by 1 also, so the AP is now, the darkness has gotten to 2. And now importantly that she did that, she will roll 2 dices. Okay, she will do, more importantly, may convert to, okay, actually no, she gets 1 from the her limb here, if I'm not pronouncing it right, but her limb allows her the mark of the Apprentice, attack +1 and +1 fate die. So let's see, and with the enchanted twig she gets 1 die, and because of her skillful Apprentice she gets 1 die. So in this case she has 3 dices and 2 fate die. So let's see what will happen in this case, and all she needs, as she's about to do the attack, she's going to move her full movement right here, and based on the range of the weapon she's going to attack this grubber right here. So let's see what happens. She had 1 success. She rolled 1 success, and her fate die didn't help as they both rolled unsuccessfully, but she managed to eliminate the grubber. And she takes 1 threat because of that. And also at the same time, because she eliminated that one, the fate dice didn't do anything, so it didn't lower the threat level. So now the hero Well, I think now the heroes find themselves in a little pickle, as they say, now that they finish one tile and they arrive to another tile. To their surprise, what they find is a little bit overwhelming, but I'm sure that the grubbers from the first tile have alerted much of what is laying behind this doorway passage that these grubbers are blocking. But what the heroes do not notice so quickly and early on is that there's a trap right here, and this is the trap of consuming darkness. So if the heroes do not in any way resolve this trap before the refreshing phase, well, at the refresh phase, pretty much then the darkness will consume the very tile and alert the enemies and allow them to pretty much take a quick action, and you'll see how that plays out once we get there. And now that the heroes are here and they have arrived to this tile, they pretty much have the hero phase, and more importantly, The darkness is at 2, so let's see how the heroes react slowly as they try to resolve this in a very strategic way. Arthur notices what's going on and he sees the danger that lies, and Amnok with his holy might now must lay back and use his holy healing power just to keep the group alive in a sense for what's to come. So it's going to come up to Trish and Lance and also Cyrddin if she can be a help, because she is pretty much mighty on her own. If you're wondering, I do not think using the serendipity at this point is kind of very useful, so we will not use that for now and we'll leave it as is. But very, very important, there's other ways to get serendipity, and one of the best ways is actually resolving traps. So we might get something more before we go down there, and I think you have a glimpse of what's to come, which is the scary part. So the first one to take action is the Blessings of the Dawn from Amnok, and the reason why he's going to do that is to pretty much affect the whole tile where the heroes are and to increase their fate die amount based on his faith. And right now his faith is 2, so they will get 2 extra fate die, and the reason why, it lowers their threat. Not only can get benefit from a certain thing once, but it doesn't stop him from pretty much doing that to reassure that the heroes do lower their threat in any chance by using their weapons. Some of them lower their threat, so that's the first thing he's going to do, and he's going to be the first one to take action on that tile for the heroes. And the one thing I made a mistake, which I should not do, and I kind of reshuffled all the heroes deck in the previous deck phase, so which was not supposed to happen, but in the end, so everything got a kind of reset in the sense of the cards or the skills that they have. So in this case, they have now the extra fate die thanks to Amnok, and let's see what else will the heroes do before any action. He could still move because that card, if you remember, is just a reaction and it allows him to move normally. So before the heroes could take any further action, and right after Amnok did, the Skald will pretty much put, with faith failing, a negative verse that affects the whole tile, basically increasing, while she decides not to move, she'll increase the target number of the grubbers by 2. And that pretty much means, if you're wondering what will happen in this case, well, the grubbers already have to roll a 7 to pretty much be successful hit, but at this point they're gonna have to roll 9 or greater, and that's pretty much very, very good for the heroes in the case that the enemies do have a chance to have the darkness react. And based on this trap, it will actually occur where they're gonna get an opportunity to attack the heroes quite a few times. So it's a very dangerous trap, because pretty much as they try to escape this darkness of a lair or dungeon prison, saving Cyrddin, well, they're taking great risk in this darkness, and the consuming darkness will get to them a few times within this tile. So now that she did that, well, pretty much the heroes, effectively Arthur looks around and is ready to pretty much unleash his fury. So before Arthur can do anything, Trish looks at Lily and pretty much decides to her rescue to move in 2 spaces, and she will unleash the blood of Gaia, which is pretty much a very dangerous spell, but she's going to lose 1 die 10 because of doing that, and pretty much that is because she did her full movement as she runs in, and the range is 3 and damage is 1. But if you can see, it's pretty much almost a T-shaped kind of damage, and it attack 1 target within range. This attack also affects the 3 squares behind the adjacent target as shown. So let's see what happens as she decides to unleash this fury upon her enemies. Now, because she's a skilled apprentice in the art of wizardry, she will pretty much roll 1 die 10, and because she has the focus lucky cup, she will roll another one. And then because she has the mark of the apprentice, she will roll another one with 2 dices of the fate die. Alright, so this will be her total die roll. But because she did the full movement, she will lose 1 die, 10. And at this point, let's see if anything else would give her a bonus. And don't forget, she gets another bonus of die 10 because of the Blessings of the Dawn that Amnok did. So, let's see. And also because, well, she has an ongoing skill, the Reservoir of the Ancients, from the last tile, and it's still going on, but it only affects each arcane attack, and this is more of an attack fire focus. So I would say she does not get that benefit, and let's see what the roll results will be in this case. So let's roll here. Well, that's a 7 and an 8, and that's a consuming fire, but she does not get the fate die roll, which kind of, sad. So she will consume the fire right in front of her, and that will be the first one to take the damage, and the 3 behind her. Ooh, that was kind of very, very bloody, and because of that, there will be one fancy looking treasure that just drops right there. And she, well, I gotta give it to her, well done. But because she just did 4 damage in total, she will increase her threat level from the 1 that it is to pretty much 5, and that is very dangerous. So she has been very threatening, and that is well done. We'll try this again. So first things first, Lily will do once more, and that is a verse that pretty much ranges 2. Each hero within range may reroll all failed dice. Well, this would have been great at the beginning, but it's a reaction. So she's going to cast this verse, and she's within 2, so 1, 2, 1, 2. So this pretty much, they're all there. They can take the benefit out of this. So hopefully the heroes are going to be able to do something about it. Now, so she is going to pretty much, she's going to do research, which is going to cause actually 1 AP. It's a reaction, but pretty much it gives each hero within range may reroll 1 die 10 once per hero cycle. So that's another reroll. So it's cumulative. It's an ongoing ability. Now pretty much Lily doesn't Trish doesn't have any slots on the open, which is kind of dangerous, but at the same time at the deck phase she's going to clear up some space for herself at that point. Now so at this point everybody has that reroll. Lance doesn't have much he can help, but he's going to bring himself closer at this point, and he's just going to ready himself for whatever is about to come. Everything he has is in the attacking sense. He's already 5 in his quiver. He doesn't need any more, and I don't think Amnok can do anything in a sense to help anybody. So he also will remain in his position. So let's see. There is, we're going to have Arthur, who has pretty much 1 die that he can roll for each of his move to do pretty much an attack. Each hero may reroll once per hero cycle. So that's 3. Reroll and reroll. Oof, 9. Oof, the 9 has occurred. So at this point, and the reason why he rolled twice is once because of the research thanks to Trish, which within range of 3. Each hero within range may reroll a die 10 once per hero cycle, and that's what occurred. And that is pretty much a die 10 that he can reroll. And don't forget also Lily has, aside from what Trish just did, each hero within range may reroll all failed dice once during each action. So that pretty much, there was 2 rerolls that we're able to do. And on the second reroll, you got a 9. And that trap has been undone. Okay? And that pretty much also used both of his movement at that point. But the heroes have able to disable the trap, and that kind of clears the tile for them, which is a job well done in my opinion. And that will give the heroes 3 serendipities. Now, for clear up on what serendipity and what is the benefit that they could do with the serendipity, let me inform you. So let me read it out to you because there's quite a few things, but pretty much the effect of serendipity, you could use it at any time. So it's like a lucky charm. And that lucky charm, if you use one serendipity, you can draw 2 treasures, or add 2 fate die after the roll, or you could provide 2 die 10 to non-combat action, or you could summon Talak the 3 dunes, it's a merchant, or you could spend 2 serendipities and you can add 2 die 10 to hit before the roll, or 2 serendipities to extend quest timer by 1 hero cycle. Usually some quests have a timer, so pretty much you can use that serendipity. So 2 serendipity, look at the top 2 cards in the darkness deck, place one on top of the other on the bottom. Nothing special. Now, if you use 3 serendipity, because we have 5, a heroic event, you roll 1 fate die. Now, so you roll a fate die, and pretty much if you roll a certain thing, if you roll pretty much the nature, you get New Dawn, you reset the AP to 0. That could be amazing depending on the time. Or if you get the rage fate, you last stand, all heroes inflict +1 damage during this hero cycle. Not bad. If you get the lantern, you're pretty much second wind, all heroes heal for vitality. And if you get the eye, or this triangle, is the falling stars, inflicts 1 damage on all enemies in a 3x3 area of effect. And if you get nature or guile, king's a bounty, pick up all treasures on the realm tile. And if you get the darkness fate die, sinking sand, a ribbon of quicksand 2 squares deep runs across the tile. Regardless of realm tile size, enemies in the quicksand cannot move. Now, also, there's 3 serendipity. You could use it to do certain effects. You could summon an ally. You could summon 1 random merchant. You could add 3 white or green treasure tokens to the bag, into the treasure bag, Or you could reduce success needed to hit 1 enemy by 1. You can, now if you force serendipity, it goes to 5 and 6, and we have 4, so we're going to read the 4. Ignore darkness event. Okay. 4, you can resurrect, hero doesn't die, but it is returned with 3 vitality. Now you can recharge 1 item, some items take recharge. Now for 5 fate die, you remove immunities from 1 enemy for 1 hero side. That's very, very powerful. So an enemy can be a boss, and some bosses are formidable in this game. So remove a permanent negative effect on 1 hero. So in this sense, that is all you can do with those. And right now, I don't feel so eager, but as we go into the bigger tile, I think we should keep our serendipity and see what we could do it, because we don't feel that threatened. So let's move on forward, and it's a job well done. This trap has been removed from this tile, and the heroes have valiantly, thanks to Arthur, moved on. So the heroes make it to the next tile, and there they meet a well-prepared grubbers and muckers, and there seem to be 2 captains. And while the first time, there is also a lair where the enemies may spawn again, as there's all sorts of formidable foes are ready, and they want to assault the heroes. Yeah, they're ready for that. But the heroes have been valiant up to now, and they're ready for whatever is to come. So let's see what the heroes will do, as the AP darkness is at 2, and at the same time, right now only Trish has a threat of 2. Aside from that, everybody else is fine. Let's see what the heroes will do heroically in this tile. But before moving on, as you could see, it says questionable of hunting packs, which means kind of almost limitless, and they say 6 treasures, but we have loitered twice, and at this point that's why there's going to be only 4 treasures possible, up to 2 lairs and a quest. But at this point, the lair, there's only 1, and we're going to keep it at that. Maximum is 2, but at the same time, quest, we're doing a story quest already. So let's see what the heroes will do. Well, before anybody can take their action, Lily feels musical and she turns around and is ready to spring that Scaldy spirit of hers with her warped spoon, and she's going to do the first thing. She's going to affect that lair is pretty much helpless hoping. Negative verse. Each lair within range spawns 2 less minions, and it's an action, and pretty much she will increase the AP by 1, and this is just in case anything occurs that might be foul. But then she plays the darkness and she reduces the darkness AP by 1, amazingly so, and we're going to go back to 2. And at this point, before anybody can take action, Lance does the unthinkable and unleashes. Before anybody can move, Lance decides to tumble forward, and pretty much what he will do is attack with his weapon, ranged weapon, and move up to 3 squares and attack 1 target within range. And that is the first, and it's a reaction, and it's going to increase the AP by 1. And that's a very, very important. So what he's going to do is going to move by 3. So it's 1, 2, and 3 at this point. He's going to move right here. You know what? He's going to do 1, 2, and 3. And he has a range with his archer ranged bow, which is really a stick and twine. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, and the 4 is the lair within that vicinity. This is all the lair. So very, very important. So he's going to unleash. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that lair is within, and he's going to attack the lair. And the lair has 5 HP, but 3 or greater will strike it. So he will release one of his ammo that he has, and he's going to use it to strike that. And that is not considered a move, and he's going to, because of that, he's going to roll only 1 for his archery skill and the stick and twine. So that pretty much gives him that in a sense of attack. Let's see if anything helps him. Nope, nothing helps him. Don't forget, Lily did not move, and she's able to move if she wants to. She didn't do anything that restricts her movement. Alright, and on the other hand, also don't forget, also Lance can move, and he didn't do anything in a sense of movement. This was the card that allowed him to move there. Very important. Once I attack the lair, all of them will pretty much take notice of me, and he can come out of the bushes because pretty much the enemy will have sight on him. So there's a 1, and there's a 8, and there's this, which is not good enough, but at least there's the 8, and that will do the 1 damage to that lair. Okay, now the next thing that Lance will do, he will unleash. He will unleash Orion's tears. Okay, and very, very important, he gets, not that I see the point of it, +2 fate die. Okay, usually if we had better equipment, then there was going to be a purpose, but 2 fate dies if he doesn't decide to move, or if he does any sorts of movements. But he gets to pretty much do 1 damage. Okay, for each ready ammo card, you may attack 1 target within range, and he could do the same 1. So he has 4 left, and this will, if you could see, sorry, it's an action, and it will cause 2 action points to increase. So he has 4 left, and he's going to use all 4 to pretty much strike this lair. Okay, and let's see what happens. Now the AP is at 5, and he will take the dice again and roll, and he strikes it, and he does 8, as you can see, and the fate die has no purpose. And at this point he takes down the lair, crumbles, and nothing can come out of it. Now that was amazingly done on his part. And don't forget, now each damage that he does, he increases his threat. Okay, now thematically, so each damage he does to a creature would increase it, but in this case I would say that also all 5, he's increased by 5 his, let's see, he increased by 5 his threat. So at this point he has a 5 threat, and at this point the Lair is no more. Amazingly so, Lance has dealt that a blow, heavy blow, and because he did not move or use any of the fate dies that he needs, let's put all the ammo away, you know, and that movement he brought himself here was thanks to that tumble. He's gonna move 1 and 2 right back, just to, even though they can pretty much reach him because they move 3 the grubbers, and they're angry. Oh, kill, home kill. Ah, bad. So they're going to be vengeful on that one. But let's see if he feels that he could do anything else. Attack 1 out of range. Attack does not require ammo. For each hero adjacent to your target, reduce the attack. Okay. So, he could do something else, but this is an action, so he will skip on that one. And I think he did enough what he had to do. Well, Amnok feels that his allies' newfound friends feel threatened, and he will put on the armor of faith, which will increase each enemy within range to its attack target number increased by the number equal to your faith, which is at this point 2. So that's going to make it very tough for them to hit the heroes or the allies, and this affects the whole tile, by the way. If you look up here, it says tile. Alright, and that is just a reaction. So let's see what else would he want to do to aid the heroes at this point. But I think he's going to just stand his ground, and let's see what Arthur will do. So Arthur will do something valiant, and he will, but at the same time will take a risk, and he will hustle to get right into the grubber's space and face, and he will take 2 spaces, 1, 2, and at this point, the moment he does that, the AP is at 6, and the darkness comes and smothers the allies, and before they can do anything, and before Arthur can even finish his action or turn, the darkness take action. And now at this point, there is enemies on the board, and they're going to react. And the first thing you do is you pick up a darkness card. Event: if all heroes are within 5 squares, minions attack twice. Well, if all the heroes are within 5 squares, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and yep. So they're going to pretty much attack twice. So it doesn't mean they move twice, but they attack twice. So let's see. Double all hero AP. There's no threat at this point because nobody's at threat 10. And activation is minions, captain, mini boss, boss. After normal aggressive spawn. After normal spawn, the spawn monsters receive 1 activation. Okay, but there's no normal spawn because we just destroyed the lair. thank goodness for Lance. Alright, so first thing is minions and then captain. So let's see how this will proceed. Oof, this is gonna get bloody. So we're gonna start with this one. 1, 2, 3. And he's gonna go 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2. And he can still attack Arthur. And because you can do diagonal attack. And 1, 2, 3. And he can take care of Lance. And 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. And he's gonna move 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, smash. And they're pretty much, this is gonna get bloody here, blades. Alright, 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So luckily there's no heroes there, so that's gonna penalize them soon. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and now the muckers also move 3, which are the captains. So they gotta watch out because they don't have much space. So 1, 2, and 3. And he will move 1, and 2, and 3. Alright, and the trap just lays there and nothing happens. And now that they finish that, now they will get to attack Arthur. And if forgotten, the grubbers roll 1 die, and pretty much they need 7 or greater to pretty much damage. Okay, but the only issue is each enemy within range has its target number increased by the number of equal to your faith, and that's something Amnok has affected them, the whole tile. So pretty much they're gonna have a tough time because now they have to roll 9 or greater. So let's see, and there's 3 that can attack Arthur, and right now there's none of them are in a threat, but they're gonna take action toward him. So let's see. 3. And they have no fate die, these grubbers. So let's see. Those 3. I'm gonna roll the 4th die actually for this one. Okay, so this one, because this one can attack Lance. So let's see. Actually, no, I'll separate that because it's gonna be confusing. So 3, 8, 4, and nothing happens. The reason why I separate for Lance is because you're going to confuse, because if there was a hit, you don't know which one of those hit. So at this point, you know they're all missed. So let's see if this one, he did hit Lance. And Lance goes from 6 to 5. Wow, that was bloody, and it continues to be bloody even for the correction of the mistake where the attack of the minions had to be attacked they attacked twice and they did damage, and now everybody's pretty much in a jeopardy because, well, Arthur is good because he used his healing potion, vitality, to give him back to his vitality, but the Amnok is at 5 vitality, and he's supposed to be at 7, and while even Trish is at 4, and she's supposed to be at 6, and Lance is really in danger. He's at 3 vitality, and we got even Lily, who's a little bit damaged, and she has also 4 vitality. So it's been several rounds of darkness, and right now we stand at AP of 2, and we got to get rid of this 2, but the heroes kind of positioned themselves in a very good way. So luckily with the skills that they obtained, because recently they had to shuffle their whole skill set, and Lily's going to do the first one to sing off with fair failing. So the whole tile will be pretty much the target number has increased by the number based on your movement, and she's not going to move, so it's by 2, the target number. So she's going to do that, and she's going to do that as in one cost of 1 AP darkness, and it's going to be in her action. And more importantly now, well, listen, the markers who kind of damaged, you know, Amrock there, they pretty much, they need a target of 5, so that would mean they'll need a 7 or greater due to what she did to influence that. And don't forget, they roll more dice, so we don't want to give them the opportunity to attack or do anything in this sense. All right, now we'll see what Lance will do. And Lance, well, pretty much he'll ready 1 ammo or prepare 1 ammo, actually 2, because he's able to. And he's going to well, what he's going to do is the only thing which is he kept from the last round is the Charon's payment, which is damage 3, range weapon, attack critical, attack 1 target within range, and plus 3 fate die. I don't see the purpose of that, but he's going to increase the AP by 2. Okay, and that will use his 3rd slot right here. And don't forget, his threat level is at 3, so he has to watch out. And this is going to increase the AP by 2, which is very, very important. And now he's going to roll, and he needs to roll. The mucker is a little tougher. You need a 7 or greater. Whew, that's going to be scary. And let's see if anybody can aid him before he unleashes this arrow. Don't forget, for his archery, he gets 1 die, and for his stick and twine, he gets 1 other, and he's going to try to attack this mucker right in front of him and kill him. And luckily so, he rolls a 7, and that is enough to slay him. The arrow flies, and based on that, right in sight, and he slays. Oh, Arthur, stand back up, buddy. All right, and that slays the mucker. And don't forget, that drops a treasure, and that's the last treasure that there's pretty much able to obtain on this tile, because the other treasures have been already obtained by the heroes, and they're going to reveal what the treasures again that they revealed, and they're going to pick up that pretty much once in the end of this tile. They will reveal those 2 other treasures that pretty much the 3 other treasures that they have obtained, you know, and picked up. So we're gonna pretty much see what's gonna happen soon. And again, he was not able to get his fate, so let's see what happens now. So that pretty much raises his threat by 1, and now it's Arthur's turn. If he can eliminate this mucker, then he pretty much puts this at a void, and where the heroes can just come and try to undo this trap. All right, so let's see what happens in this case quickly. So Arthur, what he will do is, and he has a set of cards, but he has something here which is formidable, and it is the Devastate. All right, and he will devastate that enemy, and what it does is 1 massive attack, -1 target, so that means he needs a 6 or greater, because it doesn't need to move. It will increase the AP by 2, which means the darkness will occur. All right, and the AP darkness is at 1, but it's kind of almost irrelevant at this point if he's able to slay his opponent, because it does 3 damage, and that's the vitality that the muckers have. So he will, because of his heirloom, don't forget, have 2 dice, and 1 for his skillful soldier experience, and a fate die, and nothing else. And don't forget, he has the hero's edge thanks to Trish. And if you forgot what the hero's edge is, it's this. So it increases, what it does is pretty much increases 1 die 10 and 1 fate die for attack actions. So he's going to grab extra right here. Let's see. So Whew. Luckily, by one roll. I mean, like, isn't this the most pathetic? I mean, Arthur, great job. He slays the mucker with that hit right there, and the mucker falls. But usually there's supposed to be a treasure, but there's no more treasures because we've been loitering too much in the past. And in this case, he has slayed the mucker and successfully has slain the last four on this tile. Now, the heroes will push on to their objective and eliminate this trap, which we have experienced before, which is the consuming darkness, and it brings on the darkness a little bit more quicker than usual. Well, amazingly so, the heroes have held their grounds, and they're pretty much in a good status, and they were able to heal thanks to pretty much, well, they have Amnok at their side, and Amnok has been able to heal most of them. And looking at them, they're all in good standing as you look at them, except for Lance, where he is just at 5 vitality instead of the 6, and while for also the Lily. Now, aside from that, this final tile for the Act 2, well, it says on the legend here that you can have a story quest or a trap, and there's a story quest already. There's not going to be any layers. Hunting packs, there's going to be 2 of them, and pretty much if we complete this, well, there's going to be 5 treasures. In this case, there's going to be only 3 possibility because we loitered, and there's going to be 6 gold and a possible merchant that's going to appear, and we're going to get to buy. He happened to be, we find him in the, well, while we were escaping, we happened to find a merchant lying around, and I guess he was doing business with the grubbers, but he doesn't mind doing business with us, and we're going to find out soon about him, as we're going to have some gold. And don't forget the items that the heroes obtained from the last tile, winning tile, and some of this item is like this one, extra ammo for Lance, and this is amazing for him. Okay. It means he's pretty much always going to have something to shoot at the enemies. And for Arthur, who always picks a fight, this is very good because his actions reduced 1 AP. So I think that's something wonderful. And they got some also a vitality potion. And aside from that, there was nothing else. There was sent the serendipity that we obtained from the trap. We used it to pretty much to give us an extra chance to take out an extra treasure token and to see which one we're going to choose from it. Now that we know that, the heroes pretty much are luckily at the AP is at 3, and let's see what they're going to do, as they're the first ones to take action in their hero cycle. So before Trish goes and does what she wants, Lily is going to pretty much play her ballads, and the first verse she plays, each hero within range gains -1 target to hit. With the attack actions, you gain 1 threat. So this is going to be a reaction. She's going to use it as an action. As you could see, she has the choice to action or reaction, and it is going to cost 1 AP and increase the AP by 1. What this means is it will take her 1 less target number to hit, so it makes it easier for her to hit. Now each hero within range picks okay, and then she can play also within range. Well, she's not going to do that for now, but she will try to do this. She will pretty much within range, the chosen hero may use the following dodge ability a number of times based on the movement. Ignore 1 enemy attack targeting you. Okay, so 3 dodge is what's going to happen. It's going to be a reaction, but it's going to increase the AP by 1. Okay, it's going to be, she can use it as a reaction or an action. And more importantly is she gains 1 threat because of their blades burning bright. If you notice on this one that she did, she pretty much will also gain one threat because of that. but that's not a problem. So what Trish is going to do, as she originally planned, she's going to release the blood of Gaia. And the way it's going to work is it's an action, and she will put it right there. And what happens is she's going to do her first full movement, so 1 and 2, and she's going to try to target this 3 right here. So her roll, because she will roll 1 less die 10, but the thing is you gain +2, okay, but it's not an arcane attack, it's a focus attack. Very, very important. The Reservoir of Ancients affects, you gain +2 die, 10 die, and +2 fate die to each arcane attack. So this is not arcane, sadly. So I mean, this is a focus attack. So she will get the 3 dices and 2 fate die. And don't forget, she needs only 1 less target number to hit, but she loses 1 die, right? Because she rushed in to do this. And let's see what happens. And she successfully managed, well, she failed in the fight to lower but she successfully did do this. And it seems like having this group of valiant, experienced heroes makes it much easier for Cyrddin to escape the dungeon. And she rarely gets the chance and opportunity to do any action, because the heroes are so, this new group of friends that made themselves allies and heroes have pretty much been able to handle this with no problem, and that will cause 1 treasure to pretty much drop anywhere, and it's going to drop right there in this case. Now, very, very important, once that is done, now that is 2 AP, and that will cause the darkness to react. All right, and the darkness in this case will be all heroes okay, no event. If there are less than 4 minions, spawn a captain. Well, there are less than 4, and at this point a mucker appears. He stands right on the treasure. What's going on here? Alright, that's not good. And then the minions and the captain react. And that's gonna be hurtful. Alright, so let's see what happens in this case as the heroes valiantly try to escape this current level of dungeon or prison. So now that the heroes have done that, let's see how they will proceed. So the heroes have valiantly won, and in result they obtain this gold, and now they have 8 gold to their stature, and they have slain the mucker. Even though tough as it was, they ended this tile. Each hero has obtained 1 major potion based on the story quest reward, and also 2 serendipity, which allows much more lucky charm, because we don't know what Act 3 will bring, but this brings the 4th to the end, and she is very, very grateful. But before she can say anything, here comes the merchant. And this merchant is nothing special, as all he has to offer is he's Barnock the Battleforge and Armorsmith, and there's 0 interest in this. Very, very important to take note that in this game, a myth, you don't keep the gold. And after this story quest, if they don't use it, they lose it. And also items they obtained during this quest will somehow vanish, as they haven't really managed to keep it. For some reason it is get lost in their pockets or drops in their from their pockets. And as it's very important, and I'll reiterate that later, in Myth, the way you are able to obtain or keep your items is by obtaining a title, and later on I'll show you what they mean by a title. And usually the story quests tell you in the end if you obtain a title or not, and if you obtain a title you can keep one item that you have found, otherwise you're not able to, and only the hero that holds that title can. And aside from that, all other gold, serendipity, it all leaves and dissolves as the heroes travel on to their next amazing quest. So I'm going to put this away, and now that kind of tells you what's going on. It's kind of sad, but it makes sense, as that's the leveling format of how the heroes become stronger, and they're strong as it is as a group, and it will just kind of make things a little bit more simpler or easier for the heroes moving forward if they were able to keep, all these items. Now, thematically so, loot can vanish, in a sense being robbed or stolen or misplaced, etc. So that will stick through in the story. But right now, the heroes have their potions, and their potions is something that they can keep, but they will lose everything as they leave this story quest in this dungeon. Getting out of the tower was a bit harder than you would have expected, but something tells you the worst is still to come. Stretched out before you is a long hallway. The guttural calls of the wretched echoed down the corridor, building upon each other, growing. Already you wish you were not here. The sound attacks you as you stand there, motionless, unable to move.